Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We're back with the first live in about a week since the 14th of April. I just checked. Can you believe it? We're back here discussing everything Leeds United. If you wouldn't mind hitting a like on the video, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, there's 37% of you who aren't subscribed to the One Leeds Fan Channel, which is crazy. Hit that post notification bell as well so you are notified every time I upload. Also, everybody, make sure you're heading on over to the Patreon. I'm going to be going over there and doing a transfer-specific thing just after this for everyone over there. So £4 a month really helps the channel. Really appreciate it. You can also become a YouTube member, like a lot of the people with the green highlighted names are in the section below. £2 a month, and all proceeds go towards the channel. So today, we're going to be speaking about the John Kevin Augustin finance updates, how Leeds United are going to be going about solving that and getting through that. Really, we're going to be speaking about Jack Harrison, as you can see in the title, a big update regarding his future, regarding Leeds United. Chris Wilder apparently has identified a Leeds United player that he wants next season for his Sheffield United side, as they are pretty much on their way to the Championship, and a few bits alongside that, everybody, on the Middlesbrough game coming up, which I've not really given my thoughts on regarding a proper live stream. So I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear all that lovely stuff as well. So how are you doing? I'm back from Gran Canaria. I'm back with a minor tan. But I'm saying the camera's doing me dirty here. I'm not happy with this whatsoever. But keep getting your comments in the section below, everybody. I hope you're all doing really, really well. Connor Dino, hello, my friend. How you doing? Intro too short, needs more annoying rock music and montage clip, says Biscuit Bamford. Hello, welcome back. Hi Connor, welcome back to Blight. You think PNE will have a point to prove against Leicester, as it's their last home game and they need to make a show after the dismal week they've had? Yeah, there's potential there. Buenos dias, David. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Let me know. Thanks, Cardiff. Another favourite from another team. Problem is, we'll need to take advantage of them. Scott's in the building. Hey, Scott. Morning, Connor. Harrison is a huge problem for us. I agree, mate. We're going to get into it this morning. Appreciate you taking time away from the boat, Connor. Hope you had a good holiday. Cheers, mate. Lord Wolf in the building as well. Yeah, it was a good one. It was well needed. Listen, if Leeds are ever on an international break, and you can never do it, everyone, if Leeds, you just get a break from it. I was about to ram my head through every single wall in my house, to be quite honest with you. I needed a break from Leeds United. It was killing me. It was, honestly, I'm only 30 years old and I look 35 at the minute. This club ages me massively. And because I do it for a job, it kills me even more every single day. So, as I say, slap a like on the video. Really, really appreciate it. So, before all that sort of stuff, let's get into what's been going on over the weekend, shall we? Obviously, Leeds have been in the thick of it, really, when it comes to the news and all of this sort of stuff. We're all playing out hypothetical scenarios. What's going to happen to United? How are we going to get promoted? Are we going to get promoted? Playoff predictions, automatic hopes, and all the rest of it. We're all praying for that top 2 spot. I saw a stat earlier on saying that Leeds United in the history have never been promoted through the playoffs, which is something I definitely didn't want to see while sipping on a pina colada in Gran Canaria. But there we go. So, yeah, we'll get into that in just a second. But when we're looking at the weekend results, obviously Leicester with a massive win, a massive win. Listen, West Brom, I don't know how they didn't get anything out of it. Mikey Johnston, I thought was going to put them to the sword a couple of times. Obviously, you had Jed Wallace getting on the score sheet as well, but West Brom had some massive chances, some huge chances. They blew them. Leicester got away with it again after their shocking 2024, but they move now onto 91 points, which doesn't seem that much when you look at Leeds United on 87, obviously Ipswich on 88. It doesn't seem that much, but the games remaining, everyone. You know, they've still got that additional game. They've got Southampton at home, haven't they? And they've got a couple of others, including Preston and Blackburn, I believe. But these are all games where they're just more reasons where Leicester can pick up points, basically. You know, more opportunities, I should say, where they can pick up points. I think that's huge for them, to be quite honest with you. I think, you know, having those extra games, I thought it was a massive win for them. I didn't expect it, to be quite honest with you. I thought West Brom would go there and get a draw. And it was one of those games where I thought they'd drop points. It was a big win for Leicester. So, yeah, bit of a blow, that one, bit of a body blow. And I am thinking now, everyone, I do have to say, and I could be wrong. Listen, I've been wrong multiple times on this channel before, I have to say. But I do feel that they'll just have enough in the tank now to get over that line. 3 games left with all, you know, with taking everything into consideration now, 6 they had that game in hand. I do feel that Leicester are just going to get it over the line now. They'll just have enough. As I say, they didn't play well yesterday, but who cares? It doesn't matter anymore, does it? It really doesn't matter if you're playing poorly. As long as you get the points on the board, that's what matters. So, yeah, unfortunate West Brom didn't get anything. Unfortunate Leicester didn't drop all 3 points, but they bagged all 3 points in a big, big game there. So, yeah, it's a big one for Leicester. Can't be denied. But on the other side of it, Southampton obviously managing to get that loss that we desperately needed them to have. There was a point yesterday where they were on the exact same points as Leeds United, which was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Like how they'd managed to scrap it back and get the points that they had and level with Leeds United with the games in hand that they still have. Another club down there, obviously in the sort of like top 4 really, who've got games in hand over Leeds United. That was massive that Cardiff came back and did something for us. They did it with Ipswich earlier on in the season with a late cameo, and they've done it again for us the other day, which is great news for Leeds. Keeping them off our back is big, because they've hit a run of form now, which really we were all talking about at the start of the week. If they'd have got this win just purely because of their momentum and their consistency, we're all turning around and saying, well, they could win the league. They literally, it's that tight. If one of the teams has brewed a little bit of consistency and momentum, they've got the opportunity to win the league. So it's terrifying looking at that. And it's only one loss, but one loss right now could be pivotal. But obviously Southampton still have those games in hand. So listen, Ipswich are going to have obviously their games to play, but by that point, Leeds will have played QPR, Leeds will have played Middlesbrough. So we've got an opportunity right now, and we're not going to get into that right yet, the full depth preview. We might have something out a little bit later on for you guys on that one. But it's a massive, massive week for Leeds. If they have to beat Borough. They have to beat Borough. 3 games left. That's what we all keep needing to remind ourselves. 3 games left. Teams in and around us have games in hand. Obviously, Ipswich have a similar difficulty fixture rating than us. As us, I should say. Obviously, Hull, I believe, are playing Coventry today, which is massive in that sort of bracket of who's going to get into that top 6. That's going to have an impact on us because both those teams are playing Ipswich at home. So, yeah, it's huge. And it's not in our hands now. It's not in our hands, unfortunately. It's in the top 2's hands. But we can only go out there and do our job. We can only go out there and do our job. We've got to beat Borough. We've got to beat QPR. And if I'm honest with you guys, I think we've got to beat Southampton. I think it has to be 9 points to secure top 2. I don't think 7. I know there'll be people turning around and saying, Connor, look at the points that other teams have been picking up. People are nervous right now. But I just think for complete solidity in that top 2, we need to win all 3. We need to win all 3. And that's what I'm looking at it. I'm looking at that right now as must-win 3s. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys think on that. Okay. Yeah, Ipswich on 89. Yeah, I just saw that, mate. Apologies for that one. Steve says, morning, Connor. Did you enjoy a trip away? Back to the dark side for you. Now dreading tomorrow night. Nerves are all over. Yeah, mate, I'm just trying to ease myself back into the stress of Leeds United, which is always fun, isn't it? Ipswich are on 89. Yeah, apologies for that one. If we beat Borough, says Paul, a member, we have a great chance. We do. Yeah, we do indeed. Joseph must start and bench Perot. Ryan says, even if we don't get second, we have to get back into the form for the playoffs. And with this form, we don't win it. Yeah, and I agree with you, mate. I think that's a really pivotal point, and people aren't really touching on. It's whatever the weather, we need to go into these last 3 games with form, with momentum. I don't think we can sluggishly just end the season, with a point here, a point there, a draw here, a loss there. It has to be us going into these playoffs, if we are to get into the playoffs, with momentum. I'll be honest with you guys. I am gut punched after that week we had. I really am gut punched. I'm trying to remain positive for the channel, but I cannot believe they bottled that week. I was on holiday. I'm there just trying to chill out, but I'm getting more and more narked off with how that week panned out. I mean, it's staggering, isn't it? It's absolutely staggering, and it's so Leeds United. If you've been a Leeds United fan for the best part of 20 or 30 years, or even less, you might have not have had that heartbreak, but blooming at this club just never make it easy, do they? So, yeah, we've got to look at it with fresh glasses, I guess, and I'm hoping, I'm taking away my head and I'm going with my heart for the remaining 3 games. And I am still saying that we will get automatic promotion. My head's telling me something completely different, but I'm just hoping that they've had time to work on a few things and they can get through this. So anyway, as the title says, everybody, Jack Harrison update. As you know, a lot of you are probably here to hear this news. It looks like he will be going from Leeds United no matter what next season. So he will not be at the club. It looks like Everton are trying to negotiate with Leeds United right now behind the scenes on what they can do with Jack Harrison. We obviously know that Everton are scrounging for a little bit of money, and that's why Leeds United essentially will have to get Jack Harrison off the wage bill next season regardless, and they've got to do that with a lot of players, and that's why it's going to be really difficult if we do remain in the Championship, because I think there's going to be a lot of players who are going back out on loan, i.e. your Brendan Aronsons, i.e. Jack Harrison, so we're able to keep within that football financial grip, restriction grip, but also so you can just get that wage bill off for another season. I think that's going to happen with Brendan Aronsson, because we're not going to be able to recoup that value whatsoever. And we've obviously got to keep within those restraints, which mean that we have to get a certain amount back from him. For him, the exact same with Jack Harrison. If we're to go up, it gives us a little bit more negotiation power. A team can come to us and say, look, we'll take him off your hands, but we can then really turn around and say, we'll want a fee, want a decent fee for him. We'll have the capital to be able to meander around that. Right now, it's a difficult position for Leeds, and it's going to be a very, very difficult position if we do stay in the Championship. And I guess this is the reality of it. If we do remain in the Championship, player value is going to depreciate. There's going to be players who are going to have to go back out on loan again. So they're going to get another year older. When Leeds do eventually sell them, are they going to sell them for anything when it comes to those sort of latter years? How long are they going to be out on loan for? Because Leeds have signed players on such big contracts. When we're in the Premier League, Victor Orta has absolutely screwed us when it comes to amortization. So yeah, it's a difficult position that Leeds are in, but Everton are circling round. We know Jack wants to stay at Everton. We've heard this now from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different sources. So it looks like, he is going to be leaving Leeds no matter what next season. Even if it is on a loan capacity, it's going to be another year older for Jack. He's going to be 28 if he goes out on loan next season and then comes back to Leeds United the following year. He's only getting older. He's played 27 out of 31 times for Everton this season, recording 3 goals and 4 assists, which is Jack Harrison in a nutshell. Absolutely bang average, and always has been in my eyes. And you guys know, if you're OGs of the channel, I've called him Hot and Cold Harrison from day dot, because that's how I've always felt about him. He's helped. He was part of a brilliant campaign with Marcelo Bielsa, but like Calvin Phillips, like Patrick Bamford, like Luke Ayling, like many others, like Matthias Klick, many others, they will never reach. Although, and we knew that even short term, long term, they would never reach those heights have been under Marcelo Bielsa. And Harrison hasn't, Phillips hasn't. I know it's quite harsh on Klick because it's the end of his career, but you get what I'm saying. It's Bielsa was the ultimate of all of their careers, really, and what he did was quite magical. So yeah, we got the best out of him in that year. I understand there was sentiment from him in the years that he was at Leeds United. I get that, but he's never going to reach those heights again. And yeah, his career is, in my opinion, on the downward trajectory. He always said he wanted to play regularly for England. He's absolutely nowhere near on that level. My opinion, Calvin Phillips isn't either. But listen, that's Marcelo Bielsa for you. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting period for Leeds, but they've got to get that sorted by just getting back to the Premier League and having more negotiation power. A lot of you guys looking for more transfer news as well. Jean-Kevin Augustin is another one that we have been speaking about. Obviously, the Court of Arbitration has obviously ruled that Leeds United owe a substantial amount of money for the Jean-Kevin Augustin transfer saga to end. It looks like Leeds United are going to try and spread that to instalment payments, because obviously the lump sum that's going to come up front, where Leeds United do owe a little bit of money back, they're not going to be able to pay. So it looks like they're going to be readily made in installments. Luke Ayling, obviously he was at the awards the other night as well when it came to Leeds United. And yeah, it was good to see him, Dallas and Cooper, as it was almost that trio, which is still there and obviously thriving in terms of a friendship from the Marcelo Bielsa days. It's almost a hallmark, those three being together. Weird with Luke being at Borough. I know he's on loan, but weird him coming back to a Leeds United awards ceremony. It's just a bit odd, and him getting on stage, even though he's been pulling on the red of Borough every week. But there you go. So yeah, it looks like he could be putting on the red of another club very, very, very soon. It is absolutely startling And it's reverberating around Sheffield at this moment in time that Chris Wilder is going to make him. Obviously, Luke Ayling will be out of contract as well, but he's going to make him one of his priority signings when, because it's not going to be if, it's going to be when Sheffield United come down to the Championship next season. Now, I have followed this up, and a very, very, very good source has told me that this is probably a likely move that Wilder will make if he is, in fact, still in charge of the of Sheffield United. You guys know that I worked, a lot of you OGs will know that I worked in that space for quite a while, a couple of years ago, and I've got half decent contacts there, and they've told me that this would be a perfect Wilder signing and someone who Chris Wilder would definitely go for, especially with Sheffield United's sort of financial restraints that they will have coming down to the Championship. They'll obviously have the parachute payments, but they're not in the greatest spot right now when it comes to squad health. So it looks like Luke Ayling is going to be a primary target, and obviously he's going to be out of contract at Leeds United of Chris Wilder. And I guess an interesting one there is going to be Liam Cooper. We mentioned earlier on in the week that Liam Cooper would be open to staying at Leeds United, but is that something that the club need? He said that he'll do anything that the club need in terms of help and all this sort of stuff, which is great when it comes to a servant of Leeds United. That's something we all want, you know, your side before self and all that brilliant Billy Bremner stuff. And that's what us as Leeds United fans always want. It's not just quality and caliber. It's not just effectiveness on the pitch, but it's effectiveness off the pitch. And I know that Liam does have that. As much as I criticise Liam Cooper for his footballing ability and how he's been on the pitch for, you know, years, I do respect massively him as a club captain. And I think he's done a fantastic job for Leeds United in that respect. So yeah, I wonder what's going to be happening to him. I've heard murmurs of Derby County. Keep an eye on that one, which would hurt. But if they get to get promoted, I've heard something on Derby County. Could be wrong, could be rubbish, but Liam Cooper to Derby County, keep an eye on. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Might not happen, but there we go. Let's get into a couple of your comments as well. Everybody keep getting them in. Marcus says, I'm absolutely cacking it off to Lanzarote on Tuesday to get away from it all. If you just copied me there, Marcus. Also, guys, you can get your One Leeds merch, your summer One Leeds merch. Link is in the description below. It'll cheer you up. It's well worth it. Rutter rested. Will be okay if he's back to his best. He had management from his agent. Yeah, not wrong there, mate. Ayling for Gus Hamer. They can have Bamford too. Stuart in the building, a member of the channel. You can become a member, everybody, by hitting the join button. Link below. Leicester don't have a game in hand now, but no, sorry, I was talking about yesterday. My bad. Didn't make it clear. Fun at EA moment says Connor at Southampton out of it if they fail to beat Leicester. Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so. I will be surprised if they're able to sort of claw something back, but it all just depends, mate. It depends on results, doesn't it? It depends on what other teams do. It's all still so up in the air. I just think right now it's pretty obvious that Leicester have just managed to just nudge themselves ahead now. And I think they've got enough winnable games, but you just never know with Leicester. They're such a weird side, such an odd team that you just have no idea, do you? Stephen says, 100% agree. Any less than 9 points in its playoffs. Ryan says, do you not think we keep Luke if we stay down? Just curious, not saying we should. I don't think so, mate. I think it's going to be a case of us, you know, being able to, you know, hopefully go out there and get some quality replacements. It obviously happens, you know, it depends on what happens with Archie as well, doesn't it? Which is going to be a key component of the summer. Obviously, Bayern Munich have been looking at him as well. But we also figured out from Daniel Farke's press conference that Connor Roberts is going to be out for 2 of the last 3 games. I saw someone put on Twitter the other day. They said, he's not even had a good time at Leeds, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. You know, Connor Roberts, I think, has come in. You know, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but even the team talk he was given the other day, I know it didn't come to much avail against Blackburn, but the team talk, the goal, the assist, the importance, I think that he's brought on the pitch and the level that he has brought on the pitch, I think has been really, really impressive. And it's such a shame that he's going to be out for this period now. Toward the back end of the season, because I thought for Burnley last season he was pivotal at this point, and I thought he'd be really important figurehead for Leeds United going into these last 3 games. But he's going to be out for pretty much the last 3, if we're being honest. That's what Farke pretty much indicated the other day in the press conference. And I'm just it's a big shame. And Connor Roberts is definitely someone that I will be looking at regardless of what happens to Leeds United next season, really. But yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting point. And as Michael's just said here, Roberts should be straight into right back when he signed and has been very good. David Gray says Roberts has been good but not used enough. Yeah, I agree. I think there's been points where it's been pretty evident that Archie's not been right, but he's continued to play him there. But it obviously gives us a different proposition as well when it comes to what do we do going forward now. You know, it is going to have to be Archie. Shackleton is back. It wasn't back, but I think he's healthy, but then he's not healthy on match day a lot of the time. We never know what happens with Jamie Shackleton. It seems to be all speculative and all a little bit up in the air. So we'll wait and see what happens on match day. Archie might be the only option, which is ridiculous at this moment in time. But Leeds do have the ability to really hurt this Borough side, and we're going to get into it in a little bit, everybody. We're going to have a preview for you later on as well, but fully on the Middlesbrough game, so make sure you tune in for that one. But we do have the ability to really hurt Borough. Once again, they've got nothing to play for apart from blood, thunder, and passion of hating Leeds United, which they do up there because nobody else hates them. They haven't got a rivalry, so they just decide to hate Leeds. So there we go. It's going to mean a lot to them. They've still got good players there. Carrick's not going to let that level drop. And we have to be on it. If we're not on it, we don't deserve to go up. Simple. If we're not on it tomorrow, if we don't win tomorrow, Leeds United do not deserve to go up, in my opinion. That's what I think. I don't think they deserve to go up because they can win this game. And they've already won this game at Ellen Road. We've beaten them. There's a lot of people saying that game was close. I completely disagree. The Borough game. I think they came into it for a spell, but for 70 minutes, Leeds were dominant. Heard Phil Hayes saying it. Oh, it was they were right in the game, or they were well in the game. No, they weren't. Need to rewatch that game again at Ellen Road. They weren't really in the game at all. I didn't think. I thought Leeds for a lot of it were in cruise control, and once again we had that 20-minute blip, didn't we? But for 70 minutes, Leeds were dominant. Shots off on goal, opportunities, big chances missed. So we are the better team, and that is the hard truth right now. And as I said, we'll get into this in a little bit on the video tonight. But we're the better team. We're going to be a better team than QPR, who've just pretty much got safety yesterday. Southampton, if they don't pick up anything against Leicester, I do really think, just responding to that comment fully, that it's going to be done for them. They know they're in the playoffs. So really, when you take a step back and look at all these three teams, they've not got much to play for. Borough, heart, passion, desire of hating Leeds. QPR, nothing. Southampton, potentially nothing. So if we can't dig our heels in and win minimum 2 out of 3 games and get a point, like 7 points minimum, I think it has to be 9. But if we're being really, really generous and really, really sort of lax with it, 7. If we can't do that, we don't deserve to go up. Or we don't at least deserve to go up through the automatics. We're not good enough. We will not be good enough. It's a full season, and whatever everybody says, we can glow up about how well we did, and we did. We did do very, very well to claw it all back. But if you let it go at this point in the season, after the international break, you do not deserve to go up through the automatic. You don't. You've completely, and I will say this because I thought we were brilliant, and when we got back to it, we've got an incredible squad, and we've got an incredible manager at this level, and we've got incredible backing. So we are one of the big boys in this league. So I think we should be up there. I don't really care what's happened at the start of the season. We got over that. You know, we've had a blip at the start of the season and we can get back to it. Of course we can, you know, and we have got back to it. You know, we've got back to the form that we expected with Leeds United when you saw the quality of player that we were bringing down to this division. You can't completely bottle it at the end of the season, which right now we are doing. You can't come back from the international break and draw to Watford, barely beat Hull City, lose to Coventry, lose to Blackburn, draw to something. You can't do that. There's 4 at least games there where Leeds United, at any other point in the season, win. So the pressure is getting to them. So right now, Barker needs to use those man management skills. He needs to get this young squad up to another level again, or at least the level that they were at. And I personally believe this entire period is going to be really reliant on one player. I do believe it right now. I think it's Willian Yonso. I think this entire period is going to be reliant on him Because I think that in these moments, we even saw in the Premier League. I still thought when we were about to be relegated last season, he was the player who Leeds were going to. I felt like he was a little bit of the star boy in the side, and I think he has the ability. Obviously, he's had the period out, but he seems to have the ability, the X factor, to really get Leeds out of it. And I think he's going to be more key than Somerville, to be quite honest with you right now. But I would go with a Melier in net. I would go with Archie Gray right back. I would go with a back two of Rodon and Ampadu. Junior left back, need better performances from him. I think he's not been great. Kamara and Gruev in the middle, and I'd be going Willie. Reluctantly, I'd be going Rutter because I think he's been god awful. Somerville, I'd be going with him as well, and I will be going with Joseph. That's what I'd be going with. But what do I realistically think is going to happen? I think there is probably a reality here that he keeps Dan James in and brings Bamford in. Kamara will come back in. Archie will go right back. But I think he'll put Bamford back in. And I'm really worried that there's just going to be a huge moment. You feel with Bamford in these types of games, that especially when it's been built up, we saw it in the Premier League. We saw obviously the Newcastle, the Leicester, but there was many other moments which kind of led up to it as well. I've got a feeling that he's had moments that have led up to it now. Big misses, big moments where his confidence is on the floor. And I hope he doesn't. I hope he scores for Leeds and wins as the game against Borough. But I've got a feeling he's going to have a big moment against Borough. I feel he's going to have a big moment. I don't know why. I just feel it. So let's hope this big moment is put away by him. But I don't know. I really, really don't know. And that's completely speculative. But I think Pat Bamford is going to have a big say on Monday night. Whatever the outcome is, I just have a feeling. He seems to have these moments where he misses these big chances. And then he has like a huge miss. And I'm praying that's not what's going to happen. But I've just got a feeling. And yeah, we'll be starting Joseph. And if it doesn't work, bring Bamford on. Yeah? Bring Bamford on 45 minutes if you want. That's where the manager's substitutions need to drastically improve. If someone needs to be chalked off after 40 minutes, do it. Bielsa used to just do it. Take them off. Fine. They've had a good rest now, says Paul, so no excuses. Agree. Timbo, hey Tim. This was the season to get promoted for the Championship. Next season, 3 teams down from the champ. That won't lose players, and Pompey and Derby up, plus Bolton, who have aspirations. Yeah, it's not a bad point, Tim. I think we're going to get some good teams coming up next season. I really do. Bamford likes scoring against Borough, says Tashin. Dave's in the building saying Leicester first, Leeds second. Cammy will be healthy again and ready to go with the rest. Not sure they have it mentally, Connor says Zandra. We were fine. There was no pressure since then. Feck. Yeah. He's just one goal of the season. He'll want to score. You're saying not Bamford, and if it doesn't work, tell Bamford to get back in there and play. Yeah, I mean, it's a big one, isn't it? It's a big game for him. It's a huge game for Leeds. We'll have to wait and see what happens, everybody. But yeah, that's what I will go for. But we're going to have a full extended preview a little bit later on the channel, everybody, giving my predictions. And we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about the playoffs as well. So make sure you tune in for there. We're also going to speak about probably the QPR game as well. So make sure you stick around then. Make sure you go on over to the Patreon as well, where I'm about to upload now, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. Link in the description below. You can become a YouTube member like Paul, like Tim, by hitting the join button. Shout out to you, lads. And I will see you on the other side, everyone. Cheers.